At On a Divine Note, we explore a wide range of topics that nourish the soul and body.
From healing and wellness to relationships and spirituality, we dive into the mind, self-care, trauma, love, and so much more.
Join us as we create a space for growth, connection, and holistic well-being. Welcome to On a Divine Note.
Hello, and welcome back to On a Divine Note. On this episode, we are honored to feature a true creative force. He is a rapper, a writer, anime creator, and proud member of the band Ego Deaf. His story is raw, real, and deeply inspiring. From Baltimore to California, from Delaware to Philly, he's left his mark on stages across the country, performing at iconic venues like the Cultural Arts Museum, the Poetry Party, New Orleans, and the Walters Art Museum. He's been featured in HBO's We Own This City and continues to uplift his community through work with Baltimore City Public Schools, Plug In Society, and the Coach Jones Experience. He is a proud member of the Four Flights Up Music Collective and host of the Baltimore City Hip Hop Competition. He is also creative collaborator with the likes of Devin Allen, D. Watkins, and Kondwani Fidel. This episode is about creativity, resilience, and using your voice to shift culture. Please help me welcome the phenomenal HL7 Kira.
Yes, that was a good one.
That was good.
I appreciate you, Shara.
Of course. How you doing, man?
I can't complain, man. God is good. And, you know, all in his will.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited. We actually are always going to start with a mental check-in.
Mental check-in. How are you all feeling mentally today?
I'll let the ladies speak first.
Okay.
Mentally, I am in a calm, peaceful state. I just got back from a very peaceful vacation.
Mhm.
So I'm just like very calm, decompressing still, just, taking things slow.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
you come back from vacation, it's like,
You got to
Yes.
get back into it. Yeah.
Right.
I love
yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Yes. For me, mentally, I am present. I am present, and I'm just watching everything unfold right before my eyes.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. And I'm
I
living
love it.
every moment of it.
I love
So,
it.
Yes. I'm actually really present today as well.
Yes.
Just making sure that I am here and in the moment. And I'm also really excited because
Yes.
Kira's here. But yeah, mentally, I'm really happy. I'm really present.
I love it.
Me, I guess I'm here. I'm chaotic beauty, I guess.
Chaotic beauty.
Chaotic beauty. That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does
I'm
that
gonna dig
mean?
deep into that.
Yeah, I know.
Right. And I'm like,
It's just taking everything for what it is
Mm.
and just converting that energy to the things that I needed to be.
I
mm,
know
You know.
that's right.
That's all.
yes.
I like
yes,
that.
I love it.
yes.
Wow.
Now you about to have everybody out there talking about
Chaotic.
I'm chaotic beauty.
right now.
Look, I'm building.
Right.
I'm building an art piece.
Oh my God, you are silly. Okay, I'm doing the icebreaker.
Oh, yeah, I can do the
Okay,
icebreaker.
go ahead, do the icebreaker. I gotta pull mine up. I got. All right, go ahead.
What would be the title of your anime, and what would the theme song sound like? Now, of course, we did this because we got HL7 Kira here,
Mhm.
so we had to bring in a little bit of anime.
Mhm.
Okay.
So what would the title of your anime be, and what would the theme song sound like? I'll go first.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of it on the spot, so don't judge me, y'all. I almost likely be like Soulful Warrior.
That's
It
tough.
would be like Soulful Warrior, and my anime will most likely be about like this like water bender, like Earth girl
Mhm.
who fights spirits in the
Wow.
spiritual world, like
Mm.
you know.
That'd be good. I would watch it.
I would
And
too. I would
my
check
theme
it out.
song. You would watch it?
I would watch it.
What you think?
I would watch it.
My theme song. What do you think? No, it would be in Japanese, but I mean, I don't know Japanese. But let's see. Sopo warrior, something like that.
Yes.
You gotta have like the guitar in the
Yes.
I
background.
like
The
that.
alternative
I
music.
love it.
Yes. I love that.
That is cool. I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Ladies go first.
I can go next.
God, okay.
So I thought of mine ahead of time, guys. I
Okay.
cheated a little bit because I do not watch anime at all. So I had
Okay.
to do my research. Okay.
That's respectable. Respectable.
I just want to be honest. Okay.
Right.
So the title of my anime would be Her Heart, Her Compass.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough too.
So it would be about pretty much a girl. Like I'm very much a person where I just like let my heart lead me. You know?
Right.
So like her heart, her compass. So it would just be about letting my heart lead me and just like learning lessons about life along the way, like running into a bunch of trials and tribulations and learning things. Yeah.
I love it.
So my theme song would sound like, okay. Y'all know I gotta get ready. Okay. So it'd be like, her heart, her compass.
Oh, I love it.
Her heart, her compass. Her heart, her compass. Yeah.
Sound like a Disney Channel.
I literally
Sound Disney Channel.
love it. I love it.
Kira said that it's not anime. That is Disney
I like the song though.
funny,
I like the song. It's funny. It's funny.
That is funny. Oh God, I came up with mine on the spot. Let me tell you, I did not think about it. Okay, so I feel like mine would be bring it to light. So it'll pretty much be it's a being and people and it's a pretender, but we don't know who it is or what they're doing. But only the one that has maybe their third eye open can see who they are.
Right.
But they very snakish and sneaky. And I feel like the theme song would be bring it to light. Ta, ta, ta.
Not the ta. After
Bring it to light.
I would be really into that.
Bring it to light. Bring it to light is a hard name too.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like it could be a real anime.
Okay, anime.
Because I was thinking like they could actually have an eye here,
Yeah.
and
Thank
it could
you.
actually be open like an actual eye.
That'd be hard. Yeah, that'd be hard.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
God.
what it says. Y'all
Good.
say y'all like it because I don't even watch
Yeah,
anime like that.
It's
Watching new
tough.
anime.
It's tough.
Exactly.
I guess. I guess it's not fair because I really am working on that show.
You already
But it would be called Eclipse Xenos, of course. And the I guess the synopsis of it would be about a warrior who kind of lived in ancient times, roughly around like maybe 1,000 years after the Savior had departed. And when he comes about, he actually get blessed with these abilities that's able to save humanity from this oncoming threat that's trying to put it to extinction. And when he saves the world, he actually be named as the second Savior. And the modern day aspect about it would be people who are chosen will get these abilities that would be named under him. So like Eclipse Xenos, the mark of Xenos, they'll get these different marks that represent this warrior from ancient past.
Wow. Well,
All right.
you put us to rest.
Right.
You put us to sleep.
But,
Good night.
So are you working on this? Because
yeah, the Xenos is actually done.
oh my
Nice.
God.
Xenos is done.
So it's called
serious?
Xenos.
Yeah, Eclipse Xenos, yep.
Eclipse
Eclipse
Xeno.
Xeno.
Okay.
And we're
Wow.
gonna be getting into this now. I'm gonna ask this question later because I want to know when this is coming out because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, take your time.
You
take your
love.
time.
Yeah.
Kira actually got me into anime.
Oh.
When I moved to Maryland, when I first moved to Maryland almost 7 years ago, I've known Kira for a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
We were hanging super heavy, like literally, like, and he literally introduced me to anime and what it means and all of that. So he's actually the reason why I'm in the anime now. And I just kind
Wow.
of took it upon myself like later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And kept
I
it
did
going.
not
That's
know
my
that.
dog, man.
It's my dog. It's my dog.
My
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
What's the theme song?
The theme song would be something operatic. I can't sing opera, but it would definitely be something that we singing like in a maybe in an opera, more of like a Latin type tone.
Let me hear you try it.
Oh.
Something along those lines, you know. But it would definitely be something that would be operatic,
I like that.
kind
I
of
like
like
that, yeah.
give it like a very old timey sound, very like ancient sounding.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
Okay.
it. Oh my
Actually, really
gosh.
good.
Good.
We are going to dive in because we have a lot to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is childhood for you. What kind of home atmosphere did you grow up in?
An amazing one.
Wow.
Definitely an amazing one. One that to this day I don't even think I'd be able to replicate it, but I pray that I can. I was raised in a household with my grandma, my mom, and my granddad. Three of the most beautiful people I can ever,
Wow.
mention in my life. And if anybody is a fan of my craft, they know that I mention my mom, grandma, and granddad relatively in everything, even songs that probably don't even warrant.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so being raised in that household, seeing love between my grandma and my granddad, seeing the love that my mom exhibited to me and my siblings, and regardless of what community we came from, it felt like I was in heaven.
Wow.
I was in heaven.
And how many siblings do you have?
I have two from my mom and I have two from my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys close? Everybody?
My brother on my dad's side passed
I'm sorry.
a couple years back, and my sister I haven't met on my dad's side.
Oh.
But my brother and sister on my mom's side, who I grew up with for the majority of my life, yeah, we close.
Okay.
Wow.
I love that.
And what made the home magical?
Yeah.
The love, the love, man, the love that was exhibited, like I was saying before, and even just the examples and the rules and regulations that was passed on to me, the guidance that was passed on to me. My mom and my grandma, my granddad, they taught me so much. They taught me what love thy neighbor means. They taught me what love mean. They taught me what protecting your own mean. My mom and my granddad is the ones who taught me how to fight. You
Oh,
know?
wow.
Wow. So like my mom played such a significant part of my life, man. She's the greatest person I can ever give thanks to, and only the person above her is God for giving her to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
And y'all are so close. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really close. Wow. That is amazing.
Thank you.
You actually answered one of the questions that I did want to know. Like, what would you say the biggest impact? Let's just say your granddad. What did he really instill in you? What was
Knowledge.
it that knowledge?
Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Granddad was the modern day Solomon for me. You know, when it comes to the aspect of what Solomon asked God to give to him, which was knowledge, wisdom, understanding for the people. Granddad was that for the neighborhood. He was that for all of us. You know, he was Granddad, the first person that taught me about astrology.
What?
Granddad is the person who got me into animal biology. You know, Granddad taught me about everything.
Wow.
You know, like most, like I learned in college that, the light that you see from stars can be the light from a star that died millions of years ago, but the light's still traveling to us. My grandfather told me that when I was 12.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
it's things, it's things like that.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Knowledge.
And are you into that now?
Oh yeah, I still am. Before I became a musician, my inspiration to for other things was animal biologists, astrologists, stuff that I'm very prone to knowing about. Things I continue to study to this day. Even my Instagram, you check my Instagram, it's like a bunch of
Right.
anime, animals, and stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a lot of what Granddad taught me. It's definitely still in me, man. He was the father that I should have been paying attention to all my life.
Wow.
And didn't you have some sort of connection with the wolf?
Yes,
If I remember.
the wolf is my spirit animal. Yes. So I did. It's so funny, right? Because I did this at work. I did this at Amazon a couple years back, maybe like 2020 or something like that. In the 2020, I remember I was talking to my coworkers, and we was all talking about spirit animals randomly. So he's like, "Everybody, let's do a spirit animal test."
Yeah.
So I did a spirit animal test, and it ironically came out to be the wolf. Wolves is my favorite animal. So I was like, "Oh, let's do it. I'm a wolf."
Wow.
So I did it again, randomly again on another test, and it came out to be a wolf. So I did it one more time in recent years, which was like within the last year, and it became the wolf again.
Wow.
And you had already been connected to it. You didn't even know why.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
crazy.
Didn't know why.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wolf is that, and it's crazy because I love those creatures, man. Timberwolves,
Yeah.
which is like the biggest of the canine family. That's definitely my favorite animal.
Wow.
Mm,
That is actually wow.
yeah.
Wow.
That is amazing. And then I know I'm kind of going off the questions, y'all, because I want to know what grandma instilled in you.
Grandma, love. Grandma, love thy neighbor. Grandma was the pinnacle of a family for me.
Okay.
The pinnacle of my family, the pinnacle of even my neighborhood.
Mm.
You know, like I don't know, man. With grandma, I felt invincible. I got, and the thing is, I got into a lot of trouble in my childhood. But grandma, man, grandma made me feel invincible. Even with the time my mother was trying to whip my tail,
Yeah.
I go to grandma, she protected me.
There we go.
Grandma she installed love, man. Only up until recent years that I haven't been to a family reunion. I've been to family reunions every year of my life for 26 years. You feel me? And it was only roughly around the time when grandma and granddad left this earth when I stopped going to family reunions.
Okay.
But I knew about family because she was a part of the committee. Grandma, to be honest with you, dude, she is the committee.
Wow.
Yeah, she orchestrated stuff when family members didn't have it to go. She came and gave it. You know, she made sure the family get to that reunion together and we all party together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, grandma taught me love. Grandma taught me stability. Grandma taught me what it means to care for people even when they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's-
a powerful lesson to have.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like we lack that. Loving thy neighbor.
Yes.
We can be very selfish now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is very important, especially to instill in your child at a very young
So young.
yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely.
She instilled a lot in you. That's actually really great.
Yeah, that's her. You know, like even the way I treat women is based off her.
Of her.
How I see granddad treat her, how grandma treated me, how my mom treated me. It's like I treat, no matter who it is, women gonna always get, you know, the utmost respect from me as a man.
Yeah.
Foremost.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. That is amazing. Oh, let's see. What was another question I have for you? Now, what kind of child were you? Shy, bold, curious?
Ooh, that's a good question. Curious. I don't think I ever was shy. I don't think I ever was shy.
No.
But curious. Also eccentric. Very eccentric. You know, even with like an anime at the time. You know, anime is a popular culture now, but back when I was liking it, it was corny to like it. But I didn't really care.
Yeah.
You know, I was the kid that, you know, using my imagination, you know, to you know, to further my agenda in life. I guess I'm gonna get these powers or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I was also a bit of a troublemaker. Of certain years of my life, I got into a lot of trouble. So I think I was clashing with a lot of those different things with myself.
Yeah.
Wow. So like clashing with like being different and trying to, well, not fit in, or were you trying to fit
Well,
in?
I think that's with anybody. You know that, you know, it would be corny and a lot to say that I wasn't trying to fit in.
Right.
You know, especially growing up in the community that I grew up in. You know, because okay, cool, I can like what I like, but it seemed like I got like these things for other people to pay attention to me. And at a time, you know, you want that attention. You want to be cool. You want to fit in. You want to be able to be the guy that girls like. You want to be the guy that guys talking about is, you know, that's the one. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's tough.
And it conflicted a lot with who I was too.
Yeah. Because you were so different. It was like you came here already just different.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think that I ever tried anything that would probably make it seem corny. I think that I try to make sure that I still stayed in the ramifications of who I was.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. That's great, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was, I'm pretty sure, really hard. At what age do you feel like you kind of came into yourself and was like, look, I'm gonna just be me regardless?
16.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
15, 16. I think that I stopped caring. I think that I stopped caring about what the community had to say. At this time too, I'm already a veteran outside with fighting and stuff. I was a fighter. I got into a lot of fights. Much to my grandma, my grandpa, my mom's dismay. I got into a lot of trouble, but I made sure that they didn't raise no whore. You know, if I can say.
Right.
Like my mom told me, like, you know, don't let nobody walk over you. Don't let nobody
Yeah.
talk about you. I got bullied and lied to because of my difference, my difference to everybody. But I made sure that those things had ceased by the time I got to a certain age, which was roughly around 15, 16. I started to get heavy into books, knowledge. Started paying attention a lot more to what my grandfather and my grandma and my mom was saying.
Right.
You know, and I just started diving deep into just trying to evolve as a person.
I love
Wow.
that.
Yes.
16.
That's so young to do
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
we still struggle with that as adults, trying
Right.
to be somebody that we're not and figure out who we are. So it's very
That's
impressive.
Wow.
I appreciate
At the
that.
age of
Yeah.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So I mean, it sounds like you. Well, on this one, let me see. I don't know. Let's see. Sounds like you answered it. Was there a defining moment or turning point in your life earlier on that shaped you on who you are today in the now?
Yeah, a few things. Um, the the absence of my biological dad, and you know my mom probably didn't know this, but the first time I ever seen a dead body, you know, when I was very young.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, I was playing in the creek. I can't remember the age exactly. Maybe like between 11, 13. I was playing in the creek and I saw a body floating down the creek, and that kind of changed a lot of the dynamics of a lot of things. You know, so.
Wow. So only dead body I ever seen was in a casket. How was that for you as a child?
Um, Crazy. Because it's different. It's different seeing the casket than seeing the body that's kind of like on its way for decomposing, and no one knows that it's like
Yeah.
there.
sad. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's a sad thing to see because you're thinking like, wow, and do his family know?
Right.
You know, do his loved ones know? Do anybody even care?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you think about. It was something I kept to myself for a long time. The only time I ever mentioned this was recently, in my recent years with him on Ramona.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
that's why.
That's what I was gonna ask. Did you
Yeah.
say anything? Did you tell anybody?
I kept it to myself, but I think that did more harm than good.
Yeah.
I think that caused a lot of like swelling of feelings that might have been like a misunderstanding with my mom because she might not knew what was going on. I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think I had the courage to tell her,
Right.
or nor do I think that I even understood what I was saying.
What you were
Yeah.
even feeling or seeing? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you process it?
Yeah.
It became normal,
Mm.
become numb to it. It became numb to it because roughly around that time is when I kind of got into a lot of different things. I had held my first gun and shot my first gun in the park, roughly around that time. I shot it in the air. One of my OGs around the way was, teaching me how to shoot a gun. He taught me and my bro, one of my closest homies to this day. I won't say his name. Well, he taught me and one of my closest homies to this day, and we was in the park. We shot the gun, and I was saying like that's crazy. He was like, yeah, so if you ever get a hold on one, you know how to use it. Don't let nobody catch you slipping. And I was like, I listened to him because I'm like, maybe that's the OG, so maybe I should just pay attention to what he's telling me.
Mm.
And it was just a lot of different things going on at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you grew up in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, East Baltimore.
East Baltimore.
Okay.
Wow. So as a black boy, and I say black boy, with our culture, and just, I mean, it's so much that you have to prove right off rip.
Yeah.
There's
true.
so
Yeah.
much weight on your shoulders right off rip.
Yeah.
And you come from a family with so much love in the household, but when you step outside, you're your own person, you're your own man, and you have your whole community, like the OG, who's like, like a big brother to
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Like, this is what you do to protect yourself. And it's just so much being instilled. So was that the only dead body you saw at such a young age, did you see it again and did it become numb? Like,
Yeah, right.
I saw it again. In
Mm-hmm.
early, not earlier, but recent, like later years of my life.
right,
Okay.
okay,
Just incidents. I would say maybe one or two incidents that
Mm-hmm.
that
right,
happened.
right.
Actually, one of them was on our neighborhood. I was with my ex girlfriend at the time and a couple of my homies, and dude got a kid actually. Man, he was a kid.
Mm.
He got shot down the street on the opposite side of our neighborhood, and one of my homeboys, won't say his name,
Right, right,
he ran down there, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "I gotta make sure he's everything good." Mind you, he not even cut from that cloth.
right,
Right.
So it's like, "What you doing, bro? You gonna go down there? They might mistaken you for somebody
right,
else."
Right,
right.
right.
So I run after him to go get him. My ex girlfriend stays on the porch, and we run down the street. I'm grabbing him, and we saw the boy brains on the ground.
Mm.
That's tough.
It affected him a lot
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than it hit me,
Right.
because this wasn't my first time, but this was
Right.
his
Yeah.
first time,
Right.
and he's kind of like kind of like in shock.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it rattled me a little bit too, but
Right.
not like how it did him. You could see
Yeah.
it out of his face.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
He was just doing too much. That's all.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's hard.
Man.
And I'm going to ask one more question about your childhood. On a lighter note, if you had to describe your childhood in just a few words, what would they be?
Chaotic beauty.
That's it.
Mm,
Chaotic
that's
beauty.
the-
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
perfect.
That's actually,
Actually, yeah.
I love that.
Chaotic beauty.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense. Like when you said it earlier, and we asked you what it is, but now we're hearing about your childhood. It actually makes so much
much
more
sense.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the truth. You
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And would you say you turned your pain into
Positive.
yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's I like philosophy. That was one of the things I went to college for, and I studied a lot of great philosophers, based off, again, the knowledge that my granddad gave to me, because he was like the modern day Aristotle to me.
Right.
But
Right.
it's a philosopher or a scholar, I'm gonna say. He probably called himself something else, but Jordan Peterson, smart individual.
Mhm.
And he quoted before, he said that life is constant suffering. He said life is constant suffering, but the thing that you need to do in life is find something worth suffering for.
Mm.
And my family, my friends, my passion,
Mhm.
my loved ones, the love that I wish to give to other people, that's the
Yeah.
things that's worth suffering for.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never even thought about it. Like
Well
that.
Yeah.
said.
Me either.
So transitioning
it.
here, well, not really transitioning because we were
Yeah.
already,
We still. Yeah.
yeah, but just going deeper into mental health. My first question is, what are some signs you've learned to recognize when your mental health needs attention?
Ooh, that's interesting. Signs that I need to pay attention, that I start paying attention to. I want you to repeat them. I'm sorry.
Yes, you're okay. Signs you've learned to recognize when your mental health needs attention.
Anger, my anger rising.
Okay.
Temper was huge.
Mm.
My temper is a mental. It was a sign that I need to start checking myself, and that something is bothering me too much that I'm allowing to bother me, and I need to get down and check, because I know that my temper can get out of control sometimes at the time. You feel me? So I had to learn how to manage that a little bit better. I'm like 100 times better than what I was back
That's
then.
good.
Yeah.
My temper is the thing that saved me in a lot of situations, because it allowed people to back off.
Right.
But it was a defense mechanism.
Mhm.
But leaving something unchecked for so long kind of started having this drawbacks on me.
Yeah.
Right.
So everything, even the smallest thing that I can disagree with would cause it to flare up, which it shouldn't, because I had to learn how to dial back and respect other people's opinions, people's lifestyle, people's people's perspectives.
Yeah.
So it was something I had to learn how to do. Of course, it's still a constant battle. We always are, constantly fixing ourselves and
Yeah.
evolving and becoming better people than we were yesterday. But it's a lot better than what it used to be.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Wow.
And so as a black man, black boy, like Shira was saying, did you ever feel pressure to hide your struggles with mental health when you felt them coming up?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that didn't matter. Honestly, mental health
Wasn't even a
wasn't
thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mental health was like that's like rather like new within the last like 10 years.
Wow.
You know, mind you, I'm 34, so
Right.
Yeah.
when I was growing up, yeah, that didn't. You soft if you talk about that. Like, man, we don't care about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get called all types of names. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of just chuck it up, and sometimes you only can talk to the people that you're closest to about those things. Everybody ain't gonna listen.
Right.
So that's why my mom and my granddad and my grandma was kind of like those people.
They were
Yeah.
essential. Yeah.
And then eventually, my closest homies and friends, they
That's-
came to become that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did they give you good advice, your friends, your closest homies, when you were going through?
You'd be surprised at such a young age.
Mhm.
I think we was, to be honest with you, not even gonna say we. I'm gonna just say them. I think these guys was just like, they wasn't born in the right
Right.
the right timeline. 'Cause these
Mhm.
dudes, there's nowhere in the world. We 14, 15 years ago, 15 years old. We talking more intelligent than the 20 something years.
adults.
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
something years. And
Yeah.
so
Wow.
these guys, they know who they are when they hear it. They know who they are when I'm talking about them.
Mm.
They've been around all my life for 20 plus years. These guys are geniuses. They
Wow.
was
Good.
amazing people.
Yeah.
And they may not be perfect, but they was definitely some of the most intelligent young people at the time.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
And
That's
y'all
good you
probably going
had
through
that.
similar things too, growing
Yeah.
up in the same
Yeah.
neighborhood, and
Yeah.
so they can relate.
Wow.
That's good.
Um.
Wow.
Do you find that your mental health influences your creative process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Even think about Ramona, for instance. Ramona is one of the projects that I worked on. Ironically, I did that alongside with Shira.
Yes. Love
Um,
that.
And she did phenomenal. For those who don't know, she opened the tape up with one of the greatest intros that I have ever been able to produce. So
Wow.
Yes.
so yes, because even with Ramona, that was when me and Shira was working on that project, and mind you, she did a whole like interview on me low key.
Mm.
When we was working on that project, I realized that I was going through a very serious breakup, but also the outside of the breakup, I'm still dealing with the loss of my grandparents, which was really heavy on me at that time. And my mom at that time too, she would, I remember she told me before I had to move out, she was telling me that she wanted me to move because I would go out and stuff like that, but when I came back home, she had said something to me that had stuck with me to this day. She was like, when you come back to the house, she said, I see you smiling and everything, but she said I can also see that when you open that door, you're hoping to still see them there,
Mm.
and that was a reality that I didn't even pay attention to myself, because she was like, she shed tears for me because she saw the sadness, and she knew that they wasn't coming back, and I had to learn how to be able to deal with that, and that was a real hard process for me
Yeah.
because grandma was my second mom, granddad was the only dad I knew,
Mm.
and my mom is my mom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, mental health it definitely plays a big factor.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Can I ask, how long do you feel like, how long did it take you to get over it?
I didn't. I haven't ever got over grandma and granddads. I think that I have came to acceptance that they are in a better place,
Right.
and that ironically, I was just talking to my cousin that the older generation is moving on, so now we have to inherit their teachings and pass it on, pass on what they taught to us. But I don't think I have ever let go. They was too prominent in my life. They was too important in my life. Like I said, you listen to my craft, you know that they always mention. I'm always going to speak about grandpa, grandma.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did I know you didn't let go in a sense, but I'm sure you had like a healing process. What did that look like when you started processing it?
It was a maelstrom of tears, a hurricane of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letting it out.
Had to,
Mm-hmm.
and I shared these tears with the people that was closest to me, my friends, my family,
Mm-hmm.
because what my grandmother and grandfather was to me, they were to them as well. That was their grandparents.
Yeah.
From the grandma, like I was saying before, grandma and granddad was the neighborhood grandparents. They was the pillar to our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can get in trouble with the police, and the they be like, oh, you're such and such grandson.
Mm.
They take me back, and and I'm all good. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I had an immunity code. And people was like, yeah, they always got your back. And even with and even outside like grandma and granddad, like my mom was a gangster back then.
Oh.
I love your mom.
My mom has transitioned so much, man. She has evolved so much, and she was a beautiful person then. She just evolved into an even more beautiful person.
Mm.
But my mom didn't take she ain't play no games with them, man. She ain't play no games with me. She was like, she like, that's my son.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yes,
Type of mentality, you feel me?
Right, and I can imagine her doing that.
Yeah, she's now the greatest version of herself, because she's even more beautiful, like I said before, than she was before, and she was phenomenal then. So I'm just happy that I had those examples in my life, man, because I got saved from a lot of crap that could have been it for me.
Yeah.
I'll talk more later.
Oh, wow.
You can give us a story.
Yes.
So I was hanging with some goofballs back in the day, man. We was doing some dumb stuff. These jokers, man, they was jokers. You feel me?
Joking.
It's funny. It's so funny. It's a term my uncle used a lot. So I've been hitting it so long, so I was like, these jokers, right? So we were sitting in the corner. We just being stupid kids, man. Just throwing rocks at cars, passing cars, man. And and I say we because I was a part of the activities, but I wasn't actually throwing nothing. But I was encouraging the behavior.
Right.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, throw that joint. So. Because I was like, no, I'm not dumb enough to let somebody see me do it.
Right. I'll let y'all be dumb on your own.
So these dudes, man, they threw the rock at this car. It just happened to be the one car that stopped. I said, oh. So they ran. I'm walking away, so I'm like, I ain't do nothing. You feel me? I'm thinking I'm innocent. I'm like, I ain't do nothing. The person's like, you throwing rocks in my car? I'm like, nah, it wasn't me. He's like, yeah, you was with them though. They threw gasoline on me. Yeah, they threw a whole bucket of gasoline on me and tried like to match the throw it on me. Yeah, it was crazy. So I ran to the crib, and like my mom's like, why you smell like gasoline? I was like, they try to burn me alive.
Oh my God.
My mom ran out there so fast, man. All my people they ran out there so fast. It was a done deal. It was a done deal.
Did they catch him?
Nah, they got away. They ran away.
Thank God.
They got right in their car.
They was finna be.
So wait a minute, your mom and them never found
They
him?
never found him. Yeah, but
I'm happy she did.
But she was pissed off with me because she was like,
That's insane.
you're dumb enough to hang around those.
Oh yeah, you would have got in trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Would have got in trouble.
You would have got.
Just make sure you're okay.
I don't think I was able to go outside that week, but
You probably would have never been able to go out.
Man.
it's crazy. It's stories that I remember. It's like, wow, why is these stories coming back now? You feel me?
That is crazy.
No, I would have never. Nah, I thought you would have said they would have hit you,
No,
jumped you.
they-
Nah.
Gasoline, and then tried to light the.
Like, they lit the joint. They tried to throw it at me.
They were a psycho.
Yes.
That's you got to be careful who you mess with. Because
Right.
there's some crazy
that's the
people out
lesson
here.
at hand, man. Be
Yep.
careful who you hang around,
Yep.
and also be careful who you do things to,
Yep.
because people not going to react to everything the same way.
No.
You feel
Right.
me? So you got to be mindful of who you're dealing with, because you can wild out on this person. This person could be a kingpin, and next thing you know, you and your family, your bloodline disappear.
Exactly.
Gotta be careful how
Exactly.
you do things. You feel me?
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Man.
Man.
Man, that's some mental stuff.
Right now, that's mental health.
That is mental health. They need help.
You need help.
Mentally need help. So,
God,
I'm sorry.
what is happening?
I don't know how to stop laughing because they silly.
So what does healing or being happy look like for you in this season of your life?
Healing and happiness.
Healing and happy.
Healing for me is just coming into terms with everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just coming to terms with everything, and you just kind of I'm allowing life to be life,
Yeah.
but I'm also allowing my soul to control the trajectory of where I need to go. You know what I mean? Happiness happiness is fleeting because you can be happy right now and then a storm will come and that happiness disappear. What matters to me is what's meaningful. You know, I don't just strive for happiness. I strive for what's meaningful. What can I give to the people that gave to me? What can I give to the people who haven't received anything from me? That's in a sense. And if happiness comes with that, then yes, it comes with that. And that's kind of like the route that I'm on now, because I learned this process just reading and watching, like I said, scholars and philosophers, and it made sense to me, and I understood it, and I take from it, and I just want to give those scholars their flowers for teaching the greater masses these things, and applying it to people, and I'm applying it to people like myself, and then I can apply it and teaching on to other people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, that was a great answer. Yeah.
Because happiness can be
It's
fleeting.
it's temporary.
It is
Yeah.
temporary. I mean, we have all emotions.
Yep.
And we can't only have that one all of the time.
Yeah, as much as we want
to.
it. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, just think about marriage or relationship. If you're in a marriage for 10 plus years, you're not going to be happy with this person all the time.
Yeah.
It might be a time you don't like them. You might dislike them, but you love them. And the love comes from the meaning of what that person is to you. So it's like, all right, even if I'm not happy with this person still means everything to me.
Yeah.
And whatever trials and tribulations we in right now, we can overcome, because that's what it's really about. How you two tackle the problems, not how you two tackle each other.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm loving
Okay. My last question for you around mental health
Mhm.
is, how do you stay grounded mentally while navigating the pressures of the industry, the internet, and everyday life?
God,
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
you need that. That's first and foremost prayer, bro. If you're not a believer, then I feel for you. You need something to believe in. You're human. And for anybody who listens to it, you need something to believe in. And mine is God and Jesus. I pray to them. I ask for forgiveness, repent, rebuke anything in me that is not of them. I also pay attention to the things that I do have, my family, my friends, my passion, me as a person. I pay attention to all of that, because that's the stuff that keep me grounded. Knowing where I came from, that keeps me grounded. Know who taught me, that keeps me grounded. I wasn't taught by the internet. I was taught by my grandfather and my grandmother.
Right.
my
Yeah.
mom.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what keep me grounded.
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love
That
that.
I love it.
there.
I just love your answer.
Yeah.
Love the intelligence behind it.
Yeah.
This is good.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
So I want to talk about your music.
Okay. All right, cool.
So, when did you find your connection to music? Do you remember the moment?
When my mom was in the choir.
Mm.
You would never tell me mommy sang.
No, right? I didn't know she sang.
Yeah, she was in the choir. I joke about her about this all the time. But my mom, being a music head, my mom she's a strong music head when I was younger. My uncle, ironically, my uncle Avon, he's big in music too, which was crazy, because like when I used to go over to my aunt's house, me and my two cousins, we used to go over there, man, listen to all the CDs we're not supposed to listen to.
Oh God.
Yeah. And that's where I felt my inspiration for a lot of my music, the artists back then too, like my mom, and perusing through my uncle's.
Wow.
I love that. That's
Wow.
a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, it is.
And hear my granddad. My granddad was a singer too. There
Mm.
was a singer too who turned down a very big offer
Wow.
to be with his family.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
is huge to do.
A story that transcends with me. That makes me even respect him as a man even more.
Wow.
That's just, that's deep. That was just a deep moment for me, and a very powerful moment. But my granddad, he used to sing. He used to sing this song, right? It was a Temptation song, my girl, my girl. But my grandma, her name was Pearl, so he'd be like, my Pearl, my Pearl. Talking about my Pearl.
That's so
And the song transcended so well for us as a family that even like the cousins, the nephews, the nieces, the children, their children, we all sang My Pearl because we know what that means.
Oh,
That's so
nice.
sweet.
That's so
Oh.
That is beautiful.
So you come from a family of music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now,
Yay.
when did you start seeing rap as more than just an outlet, something that you would build a life around?
The moment I started doing it, because I was a fan. To be honest with you, before I even became HL7 Kira, I was just Tim on the block. You feel me?
Mm.
And the first people I ever heard rap in my vicinity was my homeboys who started HL7, Blizz, C4, SB. At that time, I'm gonna just say them because they was the biggest influence for me. And Blizz, man, he was younger than us too. He like, mind you, I'm roughly around like what 14.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Blizz been my friend for years, but this dude, he's like 11.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, and he got this song called "I'm a Baltimore Representative," right? And I'm a Baltimore. He said I'm a Baltimore representative. Be more, and it's like I'm just thinking like, yo, they crazy. You know, I'm listening to that joint. I literally became that first fan. You feel me? I'm just sitting here like,
I love that.
dog, yo,
Yes.
this go hard,
Yeah.
bro. You feel me? And bruh, I was so blown away. So C4, I remember him telling me, he's like, bro, he was like, man, you with the group, bro. You've been rocking with this for years, Tim. You know, for me, so you might as well just rock with it for real. You know, you support us and everything. Unlike everybody else and stuff. I was like, bro, the world gonna support y'all, bro. Y'all crazy. You feel me?
Wow.
So, I started writing music low key at that time, but I didn't officially start recording anything until I was like roughly around like 15 and a half, 16-ish. And Blizz gave me my first studio time. He was like, bro, you want to record something? And I was like, shoot, yeah. You feel me? Like, what we doing? He was like, come on, bro, let's record for real, bro. And I was like, bet. So I wrote something down. He actually released the song, and he was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
man.
dope, man.
I actually, it's so crazy, man.
You got
got it?
I got a
Because I'm
No.
gonna say,
You about to say it.
no, I actually got a message that's pertaining to what we're talking about that I had sent to them because of the inspiration that they were to me as artists too.
Mm.
You know, and I'm gonna actually read it out loud if y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I just want to let y'all know like how powerful of individuals they was to me and influential to me as they were. So I've went and said, let me go to it, and this just a testament to them, bro. Like I said, this just to the bros, man,
Wow.
right here. So I said, as I write this, tears fall from my eyes, my brothers. I'm writing for my next project, and in this magnificence, I mention you guys. You don't understand the dark places I was in as a kid and the trauma I was introduced to. And on top of that, the feeling like a black sheep of my family was hard. And with all of the fights I did when I was a kid was annoying and difficult. But I remember hearing C4, Blizz, and Mac and Brandon rapping. And the moment I heard you all, I was your biggest fan. I didn't know much about rap back then, but in my eyes, you guys were superstars and the best rappers I ever heard. And I stand on
7
that to this
p.m.
day. You feel me? I said, but the most powerful moment was when you all let me join the team. When you first asked me, I agreed with no hesitation. But when I got back home that day, I cried with all my heart because I had found real brothers that I could call my own. From Blizz putting me on my first song, to C4 encouragement, to keeping me going, to Mac writing sessions, my heart is overjoyed with you guys, and I love y'all to this day.
wow.
Mm.
That is
I never knew that. I
Wow.
never knew that
Great.
that's where HL7 Kira stemmed
Right.
from.
Yeah, I was just
actually.
gonna ask about your name.
yeah.
Yeah.
HL7 is a collective. It was a collective back then. It's so funny because the original name for HL7 is Hostile. Hostile with a HYSTYLE. And I said just like how Blizz said it, HYSTYLE. You know. but yeah, it stems from HL7. I mean, it stems from Hostile, but HL7 basically is a abbreviation for higher living. 7 days of the week. HL7, 7 being such a divine number for all lovers. 7 is the number of completion. God completed the heavens and the earth in 7 days. If you think about reading the 5 percenters, the 7th letter in the alphabet, in the supreme alphabet, is G. G, uppercase, is represented by the Creator, God. the creators of the heaven and earth, and then the Lord G is represented by us, the little guys, the cultivators of the earth, and then I think it's even more than that, man. Go even deeper more than that, but I ain't going. You ain't going to drown on with that.
But I love that. Like,
I
y'all,
know, right?
I know.
I'm so into it. Like,
Yeah.
but that's a very meaningful name
Yeah,
for that. For you, first off, for you to even have that, you were young
yeah,
when this happened. So that's a lot of meaning to that.
Yeah.
right.
At
And
that young
then-
age, for you to know that. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. We were studying 5%. We studying the 5%ers, which is like a variation from the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
I think it was created by not Malcolm, brother something X. Don't attack me on it right now because my mind is everywhere. But it was created by a follower of the Nation of Islam back in the day, who was roughly around the time with Malcolm X, and
Wow.
and I just kind of studied that, learned about that. I thought it was an interesting read. Thought it was an interesting study. I thought it was an interesting concept to even apply to oneself. And I thought that back then, if Black people even took those words and just put them to themselves as encouragement, I think that we would have been even better as people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. And then where did
Right.
Kira? Is that from anime?
Yeah, that was actually from an anime, ironically, because my original rap name was Gone. It was Gone. Yep.
Get out! I
It was,
didn't know that.
yep, it was HL7 Gone. Yep, I was, and then it was between Gone and 30. That was in the 30 part was funny because they was back then I was engineering the studio. They was like, yo, we gotta give you another nickname, bro. They was like, yo, we can't call you 40 because Drake got 40. We can't call you 50 because it's already 50.
Right.
So they was like, we gonna have to call you 30. Like, y'all crazy, bro. But Kira came along because I started working with this producer that was really popular on the internet. His name was Ichigika at the time. They call him Liu Gang now. I think he changed his name to Liu Gang now, but he was named Ichigika, and he was huge on the internet. I'm talking about. He still probably is to this day.
Wow.
He made anime hip hop style beats. So he took soundtracks from anime and then he converted it into a hip hop style beat. And I worked on a couple of his beats with him. And this is also how I started getting my traction too, us working together. And he always had this slogan on there. And it's like it was a slogan from this anime called Death Note. Like the dude was like, ha ha ha, my name is Kira. And I kept rapping on his stuff, so people thought that my name was Kira. So I actually sat back and I thought, I was like, I'm gonna rebrand myself because the ideologies of Kira and Death Note make sense to me, even though I won't go to the same lengths as him in the show.
Right.
So
Right.
I changed my name to Kira.
Wow.
Good.
That's a good origin
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
That's a super great origin.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'm just my first name and my last name. I mean, my middle name.
I always try to separate myself from my profession. You feel me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I want the world to have Kira, but I want my family and my closest ones to have Timmy.
Mm.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what did your friends and family think about your choice to pursue music?
they was not with it. My mom was. My mom has always been supportive.
Yeah.
She's been my biggest fan no matter what. Even though she was very harsh in her critique and in the earlier stages of my career, she was still my biggest fan. She has not ever, and I'm a firm believer in not saying never. She has not ever wavered in her support with me.
Wow.
Regardless of whatever situation or transition I was in with music, she stayed supportive no matter what. Till I became the artist that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And my family though, no man. A lot of them thought that was corny. A lot of them didn't even believe in what I was doing. They was like, oh, he's just in a phase. You feel me? But at the end of the day, it's crazy because them same family members is now my biggest fan.
Now they all in that phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's so your music is very it's very different. You always talking. It's all your lyrics are very powerful since day one.
Thank you.
And I'm not a person that just like anything. I am so
not.
Very picky. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I respect that. Then.
Yeah, I am picky.
Yeah.
I don't just like anybody.
I appreciate you.
Especially just, talking about nothing, but you always has been a conscious rapper. You always was very conscious on what you say and how you say it.
Right.
And I love that.
I try to make sure that I stay true to who I am as an artist, who I am as a person.
Yes.
I try to make sure that I keep the creative energy going. I'm always inspired by I'm inspired by life. You know, I'm inspired by the infinite knowledge that I'm able to ascertain from every day. You feel me? And I try to break off my anime music with my introspective real life music. You know, for my different types of listeners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Man.
beautiful.
So if someone only heard one of your songs, not just to understand who you are, not just as a rapper, but as as a person, which song should they listen to?
Oh, it would be two songs that I would recommend that they listen to. But if out of those two songs, if I had to pick one of the two, it would be "Unsung Heroes." That's actually from a recent project, which I think is a great definition of who I am, and it shows a great blend of the two different styles. And an old anime song that I had came out with. Actually, no. No, I wouldn't even pick that one then. I'm gonna just stick with Unsung Hero.
Unsung? Was that from Exodus?
Yep, that was from Exodus. Yep.
Wow. Oh my God.
Unsung Hero.
Mhm.
Okay. Make sure I listen.
Right. I'm gonna check that one out. Yeah.
Tune in.
To Exodus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I believe you're actually coming out with an Exodus Part 2, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. Excuse me. It's a continuation of the project, because Exodus is a part of a larger collection of projects called the Mugen series, which is like, an animated version, animated storytelling of my mixtapes, kind of my own imaginative world that I created based off of different mythoses, different mythologies, different religions, different backgrounds and cultural inspirations.
Wow. That's dope.
Tune in.
It is.
Tune in.
Yeah.
That is.
And I'm
that
so
is
excited
dope.
for Exodus Part 2. The first one was absolutely phenomenal.
I can't wait to have you on the second one.
And I will. Call me.
I got
Call
you.
me.
I got you. 'Cause
Yes.
your voice, your talent, your art is unmatched as well.
Oh,
Yes.
You got to get your flowers, man. Give you your flowers, man. Give you your flowers. Give you your kiss.
Yeah.
You deserve it, man.
Thank you.
deserve
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you always. And I'm working on my album, and I need you on it.
Hey,
Yes.
I
man.
need you on it. So
Shoot it over. I got 100 million verses.
I know.
Ready.
Now, what is your creative process like?
It varies. It can vary depending on the type of project. If I'm working on a project like Ramona or AR or anything in that regards, it's more so I have to allow myself to be alone
Right.
to dive deep into the stories that I need to tell.
Right.
I have to unfortunately relive certain moments even if I'm past them, so I can be able to give that rawness to that story that I'm trying to tell.
Yeah.
If I'm working on an animated project, those are the ones that really requires a lot of my time. Those requires a lot of preparation, because it's not just the album it's not just the music that I'm putting out. I'm putting out skits, and I'm not talking about just regular skits. I'm putting out whole skits that's going to be like, I'm talking about like a mini movie.
I
You know,
can't wait.
I gotta write down the scripts. I gotta before I even write down the scripts, I gotta come up with the lore of the album. I have to make sure that the lore is cohesive with the last project.
Right.
I have to make sure that it makes sense while we're going into it. When I introduce these characters, that they make sense. I have to write down the skits, and which takes time because the inspiration could come from many different things. And then I have to start hiring. I gotta start hiring the actors and actresses to be on them, because they gotta play out the roles.
Yeah, I
Then-
want to be part.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. I ain't gonna lie. I want to be a part of that. What?
Got your actors right here.
Right here.
I got you.
Don't worry about it.
Hey.
I mean, that saves me time right
Yeah,
there.
there you go.
And then I got to come up with the music, because the background music for each skit gotta make sense. It has to make sense.
Right.
I got to come up with the songs. I got to write the songs too. I got to make sure that the songs make sense with the skits, because sometimes the skits can lay out the theme of that arc on the album at the time. If people don't know what an arc is, it's usually like a season or partial of a season in the show or something like that. So each skit kind of lay out the arc of the songs, and then the next skit follows up, tells a story, and it lays out the next arc, and kind of going from that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm super excited. and I absolutely can't wait. When is the Exodus Part 2 coming out? Is that next year, 2 years?
No,
Like,
it actually is definitely going to come out probably by the end of this year.
end of this year?
Wow, so you're working on it.
Yeah.
Wow, you
Okay.
working right now.
Yeah, I've been working on Exodus for a little second. I've been Exodus Part 2 because
To be continued. Stay tuned for part 2 of the episode, June 18th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for watching. Much for tuning in to today's episode. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and follow us on all social media platforms.